Hey, low carb family, welcome back. Thank you for joining me today. I've been putting off making this video. I think it's been a couple of weeks, I'm not sure. It's kind of been a hard one to talk about, and nobody ever wants to talk about a breakup. You know, you've been there, you know it's hard, but I felt like this was something that I needed to bring to the light and discuss with all of you, my friends and family. And just want to say it's been a little bit rough, but things are looking up and getting better. I actually have pictures of my breakup, and I'm going to show those to you here in just a minute. So thank you for joining, and stay tuned. That's right, you guessed it. My breakup was with sugar, not with Jim. Sorry if I fooled you all, but couldn't help it. So let's go back to where this kind of all began. A couple of weeks ago, I had an ear infection. I had cellulitis on my ear. I've had that a couple times at least. And so I knew that pain when I started getting it, and I went to urgent care. So I went, and they gave me a pretty strong antibiotic, and I started on those antibiotics. Well, as you know, if you've been following me, that in June I did a mostly carnivore-ish kind of diet, and more like an experiment to see how well it went, and it went really well. I had intended to stay close to that, probably allowing my keto chow back in, but most of the rest of the food pretty close to that. So I started on those antibiotics, and they really messed with my system. I had to start eating yogurt every day, just to try to help my stomach cope with the antibiotics. They made me feel really off, not in a bad way. I can tell you that because I have an allergic reaction to certain other antibiotics, and so I know the difference. This was just more a lot of stomach issues, bloating, just not feeling right in that way. But I knew I had to take these antibiotics to get over the ear infection, because I know that would have been 10 times worse. So, so I took the antibiotics. With that came, as I said, bloating. With that came weight gain. With that comes the depression from the weight gain. And so that's kind of where this began in the beginning. So then my birthday. My birthday was July 22nd. So that factored in. Then at work last week, I believe it was on Wednesday, we had cake in the morning for an employee that was going on a trip. So we had kind of a little going away party. We had cake. Well, I let myself eat the cake because my birthday was coming up, and why not, you know? So I was gonna have a couple days of vacation off work, and so I thought, I'm starting vacation early and I'm gonna eat the cake. Well, as you know from following me, I've got an addiction. I think I'll always have an addiction. I think you can relate if you are like me and you have an addiction to, well, whatever it is. It could be alcohol, it could be sugar and carbs like mine. It's something I think I'm always gonna have. I keep hoping one day that one or two bites are not gonna throw me off. And I do occasionally have that, and I don't, but for the most part, I was in the mindset of vacation, birthday, why not? Well, that why not led to 4 days of a sugar binge. And I will also add in there, you've been following, you know that my husband has been dealing with a toe wound. I am happy to report that we did not have to have his toe amputated, that I truly believe him eating a low-carb diet, having those keto chow shakes for his breakfast, that he was, this is totally amazing, he was able to heal. It is almost all the way better. We go back this week to the wound doctor and we'll see what she says, but I have a feeling that pretty soon she's going to release him, and as long as there's no more issues, she won't have to see him again. So thank you all. Sorry the phone's ringing. It's very loud. My husband grabbed it, so I was going to pause you for a second. So, you know, that is a big answer to prayer, that there is no surgery involved, because his health has been a challenge over these last 3 years, and surgery like that, for a lot of people, not a big deal, but for him, it was a big deal. In fact, before he could be approved for the surgery, we had to see his cardiologist, we had to see a vascular doctor, he had to go for several tests. So it would have been a big deal and a little on the risky side for him to have something as simple for some as a toe removal. So we're both very grateful that that did not happen. So with that toe infection, took him to urgent care April 29th. And that's when they're like, you need to get into the wound doctor. So, you know, we went to the wound doctor. And with that, from April 29th has been, I believe I counted 20 appointments that I had to take him to. So that was a lot of stress. Work has been great, and I do have FMLA. But you know, to use that, I've been using my vacation time, and so it's been, you know, think about factoring in from April 29th to now, which is what, July 20, I don't even know the date, can't even see it right now on my watch, but towards the end of July, and 20 appointments, that's a lot when it all adds up. So I had was a lot of stress. So with that also came me allowing myself to have the carbs. So, you know, that cake led to a lot of different things. Now, the pictures of the breakup, I'll tell you a little bit about what happened with that. I had to take him, so Friday night, I had to take him for his second part of his sleep study. So I had to drive him to Columbus, leave him there to spend the night, and I had to pick him up at 6 o'clock the next morning. Keep in mind, since Wednesday of that week, I was eating all the junk. So I was already feeling really lousy. So I felt lousy driving that far. I felt physically lousy. So, and I was still eating the junk. And I mean, I was already starting to feel so bad. Stomach pains that were horrible, bloating, my joints in my hands, my hips, my knees, everything hurt. So this was, you know, Friday. So I left him there. I came home, didn't get much sleep because I had to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning to pick him up. So I picked him up. And so we went through McDonald's drive-thru, got breakfast. Yes, I ate the biscuit and the hash brown. I had sugar-free coffee, but still, their iced coffee is not the lowest carb, even the sugar-free. I had that. And then driving home, hate to say it, but there's this place in town that has the best cinnamon rolls ever. It's called Rolls by the Pound. I'll give them a shout out. Probably doesn't help my rolls or my pounds, but I hadn't had it in a year, I'm sure, of at least a year. But But I talked myself into it, and I said to Jim on our way back, I said, that's what I want for my birthday cake. I want to go to Rolls by the Pound, since they're only open in the morning, they're a bakery. And I got my donut and cinnamon roll, and so got home on Saturday morning. I ate half of that donut, and then ended up taking a nap because I was tired. I didn't get much sleep, and I was extra tired because all of that junk was really, really affecting my health. But the worst part was, I don't know if I've ever felt this bad. My stomach hurt so bad. I literally was thinking I could end up in the hospital, and they're gonna say I died because I was overloading my stomach, or I had some kind of reaction to an overload of too much sugar, a sugar overdose. I mean, I literally, you guys, felt that bad. So it scared me. It really, really scared me. So after my nap, got up, I did eat the other half of my donut, and then later I was gonna go back to the kitchen to eat some more. Oh, I had ate some of the cinnamon roll in the morning. I was gonna go back and get some more of it because it's a big cinnamon roll. So I was in the kitchen, and I don't know, a light went off that I felt so bad. When you feel bad enough that you feel like you could die from this, that's an addiction problem. The fact that I was still eating this stuff while I felt that bad, even pushing it aside like I didn't care, because I just wanted that stuff. I wanted the dopamine hit. It felt good for a few moments while it tasted good, that I wanted it that bad. So that's where those pictures came from. I just said, I've got to do this, and I got to do this right now. I couldn't even finish eating that cinnamon roll. And so I threw it away, and I took the pictures in to Jim and said, I just threw my cinnamon roll away. And he's like, why'd you do that? Well, he doesn't have the same addiction to sugar that I do. In fact, his cinnamon roll is still in the freezer. He ate the donut, but he can eat one piece of something, and that's enough sweet for him. I'm happy for him that he can do that, and I wish I could do that, but I can't. So my cinnamon roll, it had to go in the trash. I almost put it in the trash in the container, and then I thought, nope, I know myself too well. I will pick that container out, think, it's still clean on the inside, and I'll eat the cinnamon roll. Well, that's why I opened it, dumped it in the trash can. So that was last Saturday. So today is the following Saturday. I have had no sugar all week long, and I'm back to feeling pretty good again. It's amazing what foods can do either for you when you're eating the good, healthy, nutritious stuff, or what it can do to you when you're eating the stuff that's, well, let's face it, that stuff was killing me. I literally felt like it was killing me. So I've been wanting to make this video since last weekend to talk with you guys about it, but it's been a busy week, and I just needed some time to sit down and have this discussion with you. So of course my weight is back up. I think I weighed in at 224 this morning. So I was getting down there. I don't know what I was at, 218, 216, something like that at the end of June. So I thought by the end of July, I'm going to be down there. Well, the ear infection came along, all of these appointments with the toe, and then this 4-day sugar binge. So okay, we've got almost another week left of July, and maybe I'll get some more weight off by then. But it's okay. I'm just relieved to have pushed that sugar out. And just want to encourage you, if you are dealing with this addiction, I understand. I know it's real because I face it, and it is rough. It is so rough. So don't let anybody tell you that it's not a real addiction. It is just as real as alcohol and cigarettes. But it's a little bit, maybe a little bit worse because, you know, you're affecting your whole nutrition. So I don't know. But anyhow, I just wanted to come on and share this with you. And hope you're not mad at me tricking you with the little picture at the beginning, but it was a breakup. I was calling it a breakup from sugar. Oh, and another thing, this is for all my friends on there. Gotta ask you a question on a personal note here. If you saw a lot of my older videos, I had different glasses that I wore. And then when I got these last year, I just wanted to try something different. So I'm asking your opinion on glasses. I know, silly. This is a low carb channel, but yeah, it's my journey. So we'll see. So I have these. These are like a pair of Vera Bradley glasses, semi-rimless. What I like about these is they're very lightweight, and they have these little nose pieces on here that make them fit well. But what I don't like about them, and what I miss rather from my old glasses, was the versatility. So here was my old pair eyewear. And I got the clear frame that, you know, you could wear them this way if you wanted more of a no glasses kind of look. But what I miss, you guys, ta-da! I miss having my pop of color to go with whatever outfit I'm wearing. I have, I don't know, 20 of these or so. They're different colors, different styles, and different looks. And so I'm really debating on going back to these. And I know a lot of you on here are my friends, and you'll give me your good, honest advice. I know this one's a little wild looking. It's got lots of color, but you can get lots of different frames that go on these, and I already own them, so that's why I'm thinking about going back to getting a new pair of these. Just let me know. I know, just a little something silly to throw in there, but thank you all for watching. And oh, I found an old picture. I'm going to throw this picture in at the end. This was a godsend. I really believe it, because when I was struggling with the sugar and having this sugar breakup, this picture came up in my old pictures, and it reminded me of the fact that I don't want to go back there. My highest recorded weight was 273. But looking at this picture, I would say I probably was even heavier than that. But I'm going to share this with you at the end, and I love you all, and stop in and say hi, and love y'all. Bye.